Hey there, folks. I'm welcome to another Gr.4 Cup Tryouts at 155 miles per hour. In this tryout, I am doing the Ferrari 458 Italia Grade 4. So here's the parts and things you can do to the Ferrari 458 Italia Grade 4, which is not a lot because, as the saying goes, it's a race car. If there's one thing you can do, because as you can see, its aspiration says NA, which basically means no turbo. You can turn around and stick a turbo on it. I will say I couldn't stick a turbo on it because it's so fast enough for the 155 mile per hour cup tryouts at the end of it. So basically, it is an NA in just 238 horsepower. But if you do really want to, you can always have the option to stick a turbo into it whenever. That's it. Yeah, that's basically it for the 458 Italia, besides some parts here and there. Even though it's kind of weird, it says you purchase like the full customization. I didn't though. When I bought this car, it said purchase on it though. So very odd in that remark. So now onto the customization it can do to it, or you can do to it at the end there, which at best you could just tweak the rims. And now what I will say, because yeah, they're just kind of stuck being 19 inches. For the stocks, however, if you do customs here, you can make them bigger. Why? This 19 inches is already pretty freaking big already. Why not less? On that matter. But yeah, that's basically about it you can do to it, except for the light covers. If you go check the light covers in the special designer option, you can change them to yellow. Which, gonna keep them clear for this, because it's already a sunny day yellow kind of color of a car, so yeah, definitely not gonna do that. Now here's basically the tune setup I basically did for this, which I'm just gonna say probably not a whole lot, but if anything I did was probably the body height adjustment in the natural frequency at best. Maybe I might tweak the negative camber a tad, because the tires didn't really burn that whole lot, because yeah, I will say the tires is pretty good on that part and such. The ECU hitting just 91, while the power restrictor just straight up 70, because yeah, I had to go very low on this, because for the top speed it could do it real easily at the end of it. And yeah, no turbocharger, because you can't have that, and make sure to pause to check that transmission loadout, so you can copy the loadout at the end of it. There is also the vinyl, in case you want to do vinyl at the end of it, considering how basic the 458 is for decal when you buy it from Ferrari at the end of it. So the 458 Italia Grade 4 is as a 155 mile per hour cup tryouts kind of car. Very disjointed in this. The best way to say it. Because good God, have you ever driven a Ferrari that's only 238 horsepower in a near modern spectrum? If you haven't, well, this is the way to do it, technically. But yeah, 238 horsepower Ferrari Italia, which that's like a big, I'm not gonna lie, that's like a big disrespect to Ferrari itself a little bit, because anymore Ferrari is known to be like 400 to 800 horsepower, and especially nowadays it's like 600 to 1,000 anymore. But then again, they already dissed themselves lately with the Roucher, so you know. Considering how bad they're harassing their journalists and their crap top of it. It's like, good God. But the Ferrari 458 Italia Grade 4 is not a bad car as a cup racer at the end of the day. I'm not surprised, because Ferrari's usually pretty known for racing cars. They better be pretty good at what they're at, solid to at the end of the day. Even though they got, shafted several times by either Ford or by someone else at the end of the day. That's the funny part. But they still kept going strong as ever. It's not like they don't have anywhere else to go, to be honest. But yeah, in terms of what this feels like it's kind of based off of a little bit, I would say the Cup Challenge racing program they do, but I can't really say that either, because that's just more of like a more race-ready stock version of Ferrari 458s, which they hit like 400 plus horsepower. So you know, in other words, can't you say it represents that, except for the vinyl it has on, because it has a bit of a base to the 458 Challenge. That's like the one thing I will say it has at the end of the day and such. But that's about really it I can say very much about that. Otherwise, not a bad car overall. Very much just gets there, so to say. Very phenomenal little machine. And as you can see, doing like a minute 10.431, which is not bad in terms of time standards. See if we could try to pull a minute 9, because I think that's what I technically did on the tune setup there, as you've seen on the numbers. So on the number there, because yeah, anytime you check my tune setup, I will have a number there. And basically, that number is usually the goal to beat. If I don't beat that, it doesn't feel like I did good enough, or that might have been a lucky pull. Who knows? But for this case, I know for sure I didn't do a lucky pull, so I better beat that time at the end. This thing does. Yeah, the Ferrari 458 Italia Gr.4 is a very phenomenal little machine, but as a 238 horsepower cup machine, kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, kind of weird. Yeah, was good to go to wrap around one more time here before we go to the best lap. Yeah, best lap. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be a bit rusty on this. It's been a while since I last checked the time, so to say, for this. So let's see here. In terms of the times. Yeah, in order to beat the Volkswagen Scirocco, which I'm just gonna say good luck at this rate, it needs to be a minute 08. I swear, that Scirocco was like one gold standard, I'll just say. It's like, oh my god, it's definitely a whole week compared to like all the candidates thus far. The closest that the Ferrari can get to in terms of times is the NSX Gr.4 in 109.412. Which is kind of hilarious. I'm seeing here. It looks like the go-kart beat me in terms of time right now at hitting just a minute 9.995. That's pretty hilarious. But yeah, that could technically happen on this track because it's a short track and racing cars are very experts around short tracks. So I'm not going to diss that at all, to be honest. If anything, I'm impressed. That I'm also going to say it's kind of a bit of a rubber band, but then again, we also just recently had a time trial involved with go-karts, and I've seen the time for that, and it looks like it's possible. So therefore, I shut up. And also 109.616 on that. Which, in other words, yeah, sadly, that does not beat the NSX-L. Doesn't even beat the Viper, so this is technically probably now the slowest Gr.4 out of the bunch in terms of acceleration standards. Now here's the stats overall. I think of the Ferrari 458 Italia, and as you can see, the acceleration is very crazy with the 112 mph during the Eiger climb, while only 135 during the Tokyo straight. So not the greatest on that part. Turning, I would say 7 out of 10. It definitely turns still pretty good at the end of the day. And then when it comes to the burn stats here, tire stats, which yeah, I went out of the way to do this. It's about third left when it comes to the 8 laps of Eiger. And then same case with the gas burn, which is about half for the gas burn. Then on to the overall rank, what I kind of think of it. I kind of think of it kind of just a B plus kind of car at the end of the day, or an A. Yeah, you know what? We'll go with A on that. It's definitely more of a A because it's overall just a nice balanced kind of car. It has like the right amount burn, right amount efficiency overall. So overall, the Ferrari Italia will be a very great car for like most situations possible to deal with and such. Compared to other contenders where you're like one has a high burn and another one has a low burn but not as great efficiency, this I think just hits just a bit tad higher on those regions alone at the end of it. And not surprised because Ferrari is known about for a high acceleration over speed sometimes, and this is one of those cases where it's really hitting that rate, so to say. So that's the good part. Now for the times here for Laguna Seca, as we look here, it needs to hit. Oh, wow! You know, I might take that back on the acceleration. That might be like a 4 or something. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird because I'm looking at the time here. It says 135 as of right now for the Ferrari Italia. It needs to hit like 133 or 132. That's interesting. In regards, I gotta say. So, yeah, safe to say that Italia's just not really that great on speed. Fuck, I might have to put that as a 1. I'm not sure. It's very debatable on that. As the saying goes, those stats are already estimate values and kind of just what I think of at the end of the day. They're not going to be able to be factual. Or if they are factual, it'd be really close, but I'm not going to be on point because someone will tell me, oh, hey, this is technically better. It's like, oh, okay. In that case. I know there's going to be a case. But just wait, as the saying goes. You know how people will get all Nancy about it. As the thing goes. Yeah, the 458 Italia, it's great and all, but the more I'm realizing how bad it just kind of sucks at speed potential. And yeah, hitting just 134.681. Heck, I thought I had to be at least at some speed, for God's sakes, but I guess technically not. Because, yeah, it needs to beat the Cappuccino RX, and the Cappuccino RX did 134.172. However, it did beat it eventually here. I was hit 133.908. And the closest it needs to beat is the Dodge Viper which has him 133.565. So yeah, it's got a good bit to go. So let's see. Hopefully, this best lap can do it at the end of it. And we're just starting off with a 0.94 on the cut so far. But yeah, the 458 Italia, like I said, it's not a bad car. It's just I'm noticing a bit of a speed decay or something. Then again, as I mentioned on the issues there, you probably noticed I mentioned about weird gears, because this car is very weirdly aligned in the gears. I almost feel like I probably should have tweaked them a bit more. I'm gonna be honest. Because yeah, we had the first 6 gears, which are pretty fine, but reminder that this car has a 7th gear. And the thing is, you haven't seen the 7th gear at all, because the 7th gear is kind of pretty deep in there. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to that, so to say. So as we go about to the roundabouts here of the Laguna Seca, the beautiful swings, and the corkscrew swing to the other swing there, into the turn off. Just straight on down. Yeah, 133.692. So yeah, sadly the slowest Gr.4 car in terms of the balance side of things. So that's a bummer. So now on to the even much more longer portion. There's the Tokyo Expressway. But yeah, I'm just gonna say in advance. As the thing goes, this takes a bit. So I try to figure out what else to really say as I look into what on earth the AI said about this, because fuck it, at this point might as well see what else it says about it. It says it's the most very popular choice when it comes to mid-approach handling and V8 Warren prowess for being an NA while at it. Which, you know, you kind of see that, and you know, I think I just realized what's the other problem too, is that it being an A, because I'm just gonna say, any NAs that do these tryouts, I noticed they're gonna be a bit lackluster on the acceleration department compared to a turbo, I will say. So sorry in advance if most NAs turn out to be a bit slower compared to turbo counterparts. Yeah, it almost makes me think I probably should have done turbo, but the thing is though, then I have to find ways to somehow make it viable, which I don't think I did or could, or if I did, I think I had to put some weight down stuff just to make it even viable in the first place. So yeah, if there's another chance for it to have another second go, I will probably next time in the future. But for now, where I kind of stinks, this is where I just kind of think of at the end of the day. But yeah, as you can see, the big problem about the 458 Italia is my gear arrangement. I'm not gonna lie, I think I probably should have fixed the gears just a bit more because I'm noticing every time it hits that, once it hits that 6th gear, that 6th gear is quick, but then all of a sudden that 7th gear is very deep. I gotta make sure to put all throttle in, but I don't think that's a good idea either because I think you would get less speed draw in that case of the gear in that case. But him just 150.043 here, that's... Oof, I think that's really kind of slow, to be honest. Let's see here in terms of the time, shall we? Yeah, 150.043, right? Good. Oh, God. The Cappuccino RX hits 149.161. That's the next target needs to beat. The other choices is the Viper, him 1.48364. So, good luck on that, buddy. Good luck on that, as it goes. But it needs to at least get out of 1 minute 50, though, because good God, that's slow. So, yeah, more of a reason why I'm saying, probably going to say that speed is going to be. Well, I gotta put at least a 3 on that, because I will say there's gonna be probably even a slower contender in the future, probably. But I will say I didn't got enough K cars to cover it completely at the end of it. So I will say in advance on that matter. There, oh, we got 0.978 on the time split, so there's definitely a whole second there to cut off here. So hopefully that works out. Yeah, safe to say, it sounds like the Ferrari's rival, and this is hilarious for a rival, is the Cappuccino RX. Giga Chad versus Giga Chud. As the saying goes. Purist Automotive versus Rotary. It's Rotary. Yeah, 149.315. It needs another 2.2 to cut to beat the Cappuccino RX. So let's see here. 149.103 where it sits right there. However, I did a better lap than that. We hit 149.484. That's still pretty slow, but I think it did beat the Cappuccino though. So it slightly beat the Cappuccino. It's just, I guess the real rival is the Viper then, in that case. Which again, Giga Chad versus Giga Chud. But yeah, it needs to drop a whole second. I'll be surprised if it can even do that. As we hit the split there, it's only 0.017. That's not a whole lot, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I also will say I hope people like the vinyl I did for the Ferrari 458 Italia, because the biggest problem, what I don't like about when they added the Italia and stuff, and this is gonna be the same problem with like certain other race cars, no vinyl whatsoever on the car. When you get them, there's a rare case they kind of just do, but you might as well just make your own at that point when it comes to vinyl. So I hope you guys like the 458 challenge lookalike vinyl going on here. I tried to do. I thought about adding more checkers to the top there. I was very in debate about that. Just probably just keep it waves at the end there, something like that. I'm not really sure what's the best way to call that. But I basically saw that, it's like, you know, I could probably add that too, because that doesn't look that bad. Yeah. Let's see how much better of a lap this is, because there's no way it's going to beat the Viper. Got a long way to beat that at the end of it. But as we go to the last roundabout turn here, let's see what the story really says, shall we? 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, 148, 148.99, or 148.914. Sorry about that, brain fart. But yep, that's basically the Ferrari 458 Italia. Now, what events can you do with this? Well, I'll just say this: if you just want to turn around and slap a turbo, you can do the Race of Turbo Sports Cars, since it's just an NA. So just say that. The other choices will be the World Touring Cars 600 if you do coring and stuff. You can also do the Ferrari Circuit Challenge with this, but I don't know if I would recommend that because you're dealing with some high-powered Ferraris, just to say. Even though it's showing a bunch of old Ferraris there, you're going to deal with like the F8s and stuff the super fast, so say, whatever that one's called. Basic crazy ass Ferrari Daytona, so say. The 800 horsepower. So, Ferrari wouldn't really suggest that, but I just show as an option though. But yeah, you can do World Touring 600, you can do GT Cup Grade 4 with this. Considering the Grade 4 is just going to auto balance it, so it really don't matter on what your stats are for that. And then the World Touring 600, I'm not sure if you want to do that either, but yeah, it's an option. So now on to the race, which we are at Mount Panorama, or whatever the one name is. I'm sorry for those that know about that name though. But basically just gonna call it Mount Panorama though. So basically sports cars versus the Italia. Basically got their DS3 racing, or Mazda 3 once again, or 190E Mercedes, Civic Si Extra. Gotta get that extra large for pizza delivery service. That's it. Got the Abra 500 third right now. I got surprised about that. I forget he's up in the high spot when it came to testing stuff. Because as the saying goes, when I do cars, I do region over region. Basically, I go to America, then I go to Europe, and then I go to Japan. Or any other Eastern countries over there. So it's like example, Korea. This thing. But yeah, these are the Ferrari F4 458 Grade 4 versus the sports cars, which is kind of funny because there is one car that shares the same amount of horsepower. If I recall, it might be the Miata, if I recall. Because yeah, these sports cars, they technically don't hit really high on the horsepower margins, but gear-wise, we're gonna be a lot quicker than the Italia at the end of the day. Because they're hitting like 186 miles per hour, and I just lifted the lip on that Civic, or rear of that Civic, good God. But yeah, he wasn't really moving that fast, so I was like, start pressing on him. I was like, oh crap. That thing goes. My pizza boy. That thing goes. And then we got the. Oh yeah, let's look at the Civic outside, because yeah, I knew he was going to pass me at this point, because we were on the big old straightaway, which yeah, I'm just going to say, that's where my doom and gloom shines, because on straightaways, this car ain't going to do jack crap to speeds of this kind on the straights, so as the saying goes. That's it, 145 miles per hour though, that's not technically that bad, but that is a bit of a, I think that's a bit of a draft to that on top of it. Yeah, so I'm basically steadily getting up there, but it's going to take me a good bit till I even get all up there at the end of the day. You get all up there, this thing goes. We also got that Toyota Apex Truno, the 86, my beauty. So yeah, I gotta say, I love the Truno in red. The red looks really good. Very solid red, I must say. Yeah. Then we got the technically, yeah, is that technically Citroen? Yeah, that's technically Citroen. Citroen DS3. Although it has its own brand, I think it's performance brand, which is DS itself. Yeah, Citroen has a performance luxury brand, which is DS, I believe. Or that's just a sports brand. I'm not really sure. Always weird about that one. You got the Peugeot 205 GTI Classic, and then you got the Slow as a Bird FTO, which I don't know whoever made that AI, whoever let that AI drive, he drives like ass though. He represents the FTO poorly. You got the Renault R5 Turbo, classic Dragon Ball car there. You got the 190E, getting up there pretty quick, I'm not gonna lie. You got the BMW M3 Sport Evolution, the Subaru BRZ-S, the Focus ST, we got the Giulia Sprint GTV, you got the Abarth 500, yeah, just Abarth 500, okay. I figured it was like another thing to that name on that, on the other day. But yeah, the Focus ST, I need to change the vinyl on that one. Oh yeah, the one funny part about the Abarth 500, of course, the Mr. Stoppy car. Because yeah, if the AI hits the brakes really hard, it strangely performs a stoppy. Kind of weird cars like that can do that, but Some cars can do that, and that is one such example. Then you got the Nissan Silvia Qs, and not the Ks. Yeah, you'll be seeing the Ks actually later, matter of fact, because I actually had a bigger plan for that car, because I was almost running out of room for cars for this certain playset in the future here, and it turns out, oh yeah, the Q is much faster compared to the K is much faster than the Q at the end of the day. And then you got the classic that is the Mazda Roadster. I hope to see the Mazda MB in the future, but right now we got 4 freaking hypercars coming into play. Although I know a lot of people are probably wanted those for sure, considering the 499p Ferrari hypercar and BMW's hypercar finally, because BMW finally gets their hypercar. And it's weird to say that because you would think we had the V12 LMR. We don't have that. So, just to say on that. And then Porsche's new hypercar, and then, I can't remember the other one. Oh yeah, Pugeos hypercar too. Because I think I've been saying Peugeot right, or wrong. I think it's supposed to be Pugeo. And then you got the Corvette C1, who already pitted, by the way, because yeah, he had to get a refill already. Because yeah, I will say this is about panorama, so this is a speed track, so therefore the gas tanks are gonna be burning a lot quicker. I will say, because most of these are already hitting half, as we see here. Where is the yeah, the Italians is up a little further ahead here, as he's hitting about 2/3 on the gas tank for DS3, but the Italia is still swinging at more than a half right now. While the Truno is probably the most competitor on that margin, as it's also sitting about half right now. The Renault 5 surprisingly hitting half as well. The BRZ is a big old disappointment, as it's already drained so much. I'm kind of shocked on that. You got the BMW M3 and E190 also draining pretty good too. You got the Giulia Sprint hitting a lot. The Focus ST is about to go in, probably. Again, how much burn that is. You got the Silvia Q. The Silvia Q is a bit less than half, so it's an E-type coupe. Got the Unos Roadster hitting about half. Oh, the Sierra's going in. Okay, that's shocking. Figure out, it looks like he has about what, another lap before he could do that, but nope, he doesn't have enough. So okay. Yeah, so now onto the higher economic car, because yeah, I will say basically how I'm going to go about this race as the thing goes for, as the footage of this video, is that basically I'm just going to be covering the first bit until I pit, and once I pit, we'll get to the near end point. This thing goes. So yeah, I already hit 6th place though after everyone having to pit there, because I will say that was a massive pit cycle. As the thing goes. But yeah, I got the Apex Truno just hauling butt now at this point, because I will say once they get in the higher spots, they start moving quicker. Yeah, got the Apex Truno. R5 Turbo in the front too, on top of it. So yeah, those are the 2 competitors I have to get to at the end of the day. Got the Silvia Q still being high up there, and the Miata hitting like 2nd right now. Almost about to pass the E-Type Cube as of right now. Let's see here. So yeah, he's been inching a little closer and closer. I know it's on the pathway. We'll see about that. Yeah, because I decided to pick Mount Panorama because I was kind of curious, like how is this gonna go? Is this gonna go bad for me, or is this gonna go just plain hunky dory? Because I will say, you would think being put on a faster track, you would think the sports would have a higher advantage over me because I only go about 155 at best. The sports cars, while they do go faster, they're also going to get more fuel drained in the process. So as a result, they are probably better on the acceleration side of things versus the speed side of things, so to say. So yeah, that's the interesting thing. I come to a conclusion about this at the end of the day is that if you go onto a faster case for this case, because I will say when you hit the sports side, you're technically gonna burn even more fuel than ever. Heck, because just to say, I put 6 times fuel burn rate for sports cars, while 9 times fuel rate for less of that. So sad. So the cups and the fun size ones. But yeah, I'll be bringing back the fun size sooner or later here, but it's gonna take a bit. Yeah, because basically I'm probably gonna do the same case where I'm probably gonna do 10 cars of this, and then I'm gonna go back to that. I will say fun size is not gonna be a main focus though, so I'm gonna be every once in a while you're gonna see one, but not guaranteed like next week after next week. So say it just I need to basically get my mind back together at the end of the day, so I'm gonna focus on what is very important as of right now and such. Okay, as we can see here, we got a bunch more cars fueling in. Got the FTO fueling in as well. But yeah, whoever let that AI drive for the FTO, he's terrible. He sucks, as the thing goes. Yeah, got more opponents fueling in though. So the only opponent I have left at this point is just the Mazda Miata. Which I'm not surprised, that car is outstanding when it comes to fuel efficiency and performance itself at the end of the day. That little car is always super impressive, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to the Miata. And such. Got the M3 Sport Evo, got the 190E, CWQ in 8th as of now, got the Citroen in 9th, the Focus ST in 10th, Subaru BRZ S in 11th, R5 in 12th, Sprinter 13, 205 in 14th, Civic in 15th, got the Corvette C1 in 16th right now, which, ooh my, that's a big old deep spot I gotta say. Mazda 3 in 17th, Aber 500 in 18th, Swiss Sport in 19th, and then I think that was the FTO in 20th. Like I said, that AI, whoever's driving the FTO, you suck for an AI. Like, oh my god, really bad. Like, I don't even know how this bad, but you're that bad. So because I know that car drives a whole lot quicker than that. I mean, not like astoundingly quick, but you know, at least a lot better than that. Yeah, this is where it gets fun though, because as you can see, the Mazda Roadster has pitted, so I technically just, I'm not gonna lie, I basically just straight up just won this race, because then I basically just have to do one more lap here. I basically covered the half of the laps needed for this race overall. For the Mazda will now need to cover another cycle, then pit, and then come back, and then win eventually. So yeah, that will not work well for the Miata at all. So that means I basically just straight up just win this race. In like 2 minutes and 25 seconds though, it's not bad either, I will say. Because I will say, when it comes to Mount Panorama, if I had to compare it to a GT3 would usually hit like 205 around this track. So seeing 225, not bad. But as you can see, the time just gets blasted by the sports cars as they get rubber band boost up the yang, as the saying goes. In like 2:18.524. And you would think, oh yeah, seeing that time? Oh, that's panic inducing. I should probably hightail it. Nah, they're too far back at this point. They can't get me, like at all. Like they can get inch by inch, but it's just not gonna work. As the thing goes. Got the Subaru BRZ just going about. Got the Mazda sit back to 11th place. Ooh, that's a big hit. Got the Truno hitting 13th as of right now. Got the Corvette C1 hitting 14th. Pojo hitting 205. I mean, Peugeot 205, sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to learn as a commentator as we do this thing goes. FTO just fucking chilling. Just fucking chilling. And then me just casually just driving to get there at the end of the day. As the thing goes. Yeah, this is the point where I'm about to pit though. Cause yeah, as you can see, the fuel is low. I will say, I don't think I leaned it at all. I think it was straight up right at the 6 laps it needed to be. Like, oh, okay, that's convenient. I might have did lean, but I might have did not. So I'll just say that. I'll say 70-30 or 30-70. I say I lean on that. So on to a big old portion cut here as we get to the second portion. And as you can see, the Mazda went back in. Who would have thought? And then we got the Sierra here. I was like, sure, the Sierra's going to come after me, right? Because, yeah, he's been catching up pretty good so far. And he's going in. Never mind. Alright, what about the Jaguar E-Type? The Jaguar E-Type surely is going to get to me, right? Now, let's see here. That's the Jaguar is very far away, though. So, like, good luck getting to me at this rate. He needs to at least cover 30 seconds just to get to me at the end of the day. What it looks like there. Yeah, the Jaguar has passed the Mazda Miata in the... What else was that? The Ford Sierra. So it's got a lot to get to. Got the Mazda 3. Yeah, we got the Jaguar E-Type in second place right now in terms of position. We got the Renault R5 in third place. That shocks me big time. It's like, whoa, I didn't expect that to be doing that good. It's actually doing that reasonably good. Not shocking. Got the Mazda Uno Roadster in fourth as of right now. And then we got the Silvia Q in fifth. Sprinter Truno in sixth. And the sun is about to come up here, as you can see the beautiful sunlight. Because yeah, I will say, I do love this sunlight when it starts peeping up and stuff. It's pretty cool. Heck, during the nighttime, you see the cities. You see the cities from the far side. That's pretty cool too. This reminds me of when you do highway driving during nights and stuff. You can see city lights and stuff. It's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool sight to behold. Yeah, you can literally see all the city lights and stuff. I will mention in advance. Yeah, as we get here to the last steps of the race here, we got the E-Type Coupe in second place, while the Renault R5 in third place. That shocks me really bad. Like, I didn't expect the Renault doing that good. Like, holy crap. What does MDTM? Good God. I'm surprised they didn't do that. Yeah, the Silvia Q in fifth, the Uno Roadster in fourth. But yeah, this little car is just kicking ass though in that third place right now. Got the Jaguar hitting like 171 miles per hour there, holy crap. But yeah, he's still got a far way to get to me at the end. He is inching though, he is inching just a good amount. And of course, because I will say, I was trying to guess like, what the heck's in front of me here? It's like, I don't remember this car. Oh. I feel sad. But yeah, the 458 Italia Gr.4 just in first place as you see here. Basically just chilling. Like I said, this is what kind of reason why I gave the Italia at the end of the day A at the end of the day, because it felt like this car is very superior no matter how bad the speed is at the end of the day. It's just the fact its endurance factor is pretty good, its turn factor is pretty good, its acceleration's pretty good too, because it will get up to A to B like real quick and stuff. But yeah, at this point I'm just looking at the contenders, because yeah, this stuff is getting tight here as you can see, because the Silvia's inching closer, and I think it's, oh yeah, it's on the R5's butt at this point. Got the Miata Roadster in fifth right now. I got the E-Type Coupe in second right now. Or what am I saying? It's been second. Duh. Shut up, mate. And you got the R5 just hanging on the third place right now, because yeah, that Silvia wants that third place real bad, as you can see. How much is just inching on that butt? Oh my God, the inch on that. And you got the Miata. I think the Miata's getting up here too, I'm noticing. I think it was right there. We'll have to see. Getting to the final bits of the turns here. Yeah, they're doing their damnedest. They're doing their damnedest to get to me. But it ain't gonna work, Captain. So here we go in the high-speed section. As surprisingly, the Sylvia is not passing the Renault 5 here. Because I got the problem with the Renault 5. It wasn't as speedy, but I guess I'm wrong about that at the end of the day. Here we go, passing the checker flag. Victory for Ferrari. That thing goes. Now, let's see these last three here, since I got a little extra leeway time for race quits here. With the Jaguar E-Type. Oh man, on the final corner here. The Renault 5 is trying to make that press. Can it do it? Oh man, so close. Oh. Yeah, because the Renault 5 decided to start pushing there. Holy crap. But yeah, that basically ends this Cup's tryout. So I'll see you guys all next time. And until then, enjoy this little teaser of the next contender. That is the Suzuki Jimny XC 2018 with the Suzuki Swift motor. Until next time, folks. You guys take care and ciao. Thanks for watching as always.